Hey everyone, Heather Williams here with the California AfterSchool Network for another Williams here with the California AfterSchool Network for another Fireside Chat. As always, co-hosted by Michael Funk from the California Department of Education Expanded Learning Division. And as usual, we have a lot of special guests joining us today. And so we have some friends from Fork Farms and then a couple of the districts they work with here in California. We've got Twin Rivers in the house as well as Bakersfield. And so you'll get to know a little bit more about each of them, but they all do some really amazing work that we're excited to share with you today. But before that, it's January. And so this is kind of a big month in our policy world. Just recently on January 10th, the governor released his proposed budget for the upcoming budget year. And so this is something we've kind of been holding our breath to see what happens. It was proposed that there's going to be a pretty big deficit in this coming year's budget. And so a lot of folks are concerned about how that impacts our programs. And so the governor did release his budget back on January 10th, and we all had a nice big sigh of relief, at least for the moment, that he has maintained, his proposal maintains solid funding for all of our programs as they have been funded for the last few years, including the $4 billion in ongoing funding for ELOP. So that's super exciting, more work to do. But that was our huge, okay, good, now let's continue to move forward and continue to implement our high quality programs and continue to advocate for that budget. And so Michael, I'll turn it over to you. I know there's more in the weeds details, but that news was so exciting for us, I can't help but share that news.
Thank you, Heather. So it's the 23rd of January when we're recording this. And today I was observing 6 hours of budget hearings. Both the Assembly and the Senate Budget Committee met for the first time, and it's the first time under new leadership. And so there was a lot to pay attention to. And of course, it was very high level. I had to step away from the Senate, so I'm not sure everything that happened there, but the Assembly Education and Education sub-budget hearing chairs both spoke in the Assembly and both mentioned the importance of maintaining the governor's investments in transitional things, programs for education. And they specifically mentioned after school is one of those, in addition to others. And we know that there's a long stretch ahead of us. So yes, it was great news that the governor proposed to keep the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program whole. We don't anticipate the legislature acting in a way that does not fund the rate increase for ACEs in 21st century, those programs that are grants that fund individual school sites. Of course, the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program is an apportionment that goes to school districts and charters, and they decide locally where the money goes. And it's exciting to have school partners and Farm Fork, a partner, right? Because one of the things that we talk about is that solid partnerships are an essential ingredient of high quality programming. And so here we've got that to show. I just want to say, listening to the hearings today, there's a lot of arguing about, there's a lot of debating about whether the projections for revenue and the proposed deferrals and all these things are really are solid, are strong ideas, have a foundation to them that will stand. And there's many opinions on both sides of the aisle. So we've got a long budget season to go. And it doesn't look like the early figures from January are that encouraging, that there's even January is billions behind projected. And so what we do know is that educational leaders are saying out loud that the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program funding is one of the best investments California has made in the last decade. I've heard that specifically. I've heard district superintendents and principals stand up and say, this has transformed my community and my school like nothing else in my career. Those are actual statements. At the same time, I've got educational leaders who are reaching out and saying, all I'm hearing about is the problems. Like all I'm hearing about is can't find enough staff, having trouble getting started. And so folks, we gotta get the stories out there so we can inspire those who are feeling challenged and they can know exactly what can be done. And those that are making decisions can also take note of the really powerful work that's going on. So I've said it on the Fireside chats before, contrary to my philosophy as a basketball coach back in the day, in the budget series, in the budget, the best defense is a good offense. So we got to tell our stories. We got to tell where we're successful. And that's why we're here today. And so Heather, we'll be on, we've had a little bit of a break from the Fireside chats, but we're going to be on more regularly and we'll keep you up to speed and tell more stories. So with that, we've got an amazing group here. We've chatted just a few minutes before we started the recording. So I'm anxious to hear from our guests as well. And we'll start with Nicole from Bakersfield City, who I learned something about you, Nicole, at the start of this, that you're one of a kind. Why are you one of a kind in California?
I am one of a kind because I am the after school science specialist. So I write the curriculum for all of our after school program for science.
That's awesome. So give us a little bit of a feel of what that looks like and how that's implemented and why that's important in Bakersfield.
Sure. So each of our sites, we have 42 sites that have our after school program that we're involved in. And every site has a science activity leader that does the program that I write. Within that, we also have teachers that we have gotten on board that do things like fork farms and just get the kids excited about science and the ability to do something that they normally wouldn't be able to do.
Alex and Abby, do either one or both of you want to just reflect on your partnership with Nicole and Bakersfield and tell these folks what Fork Farms does? I'm assuming you don't farm forks. There's something there.
Yeah, I've been really grateful to work with Nicole, and she is one of a kind, and I'm sure that there's a lot of really wonderful people out there who are doing what she's doing too, but they're also juggling a lot of other things, and Nicole wears many hats. So what we do at Fork Farms is help schools set up school gardens that are actually sustainable, that will be able to do year round, that will be able to produce a lot of food. Bakersfield has a school at their Fletcher Elementary that they have amazing pictures on Instagram of how they're incorporating outdoor gardens and indoor gardens like what Fork Farms offers, and utilizing that to give kids a reason to stay and hang out after school. So like you said, Michael, something that will transform the community, create a third space that kids actually want to hang out. And I believe that Nicole has done that in tandem with the support that we've provided her, but she's really a wonderful person in the community for that.
So I was in San Francisco last fall, and I was visiting one of the middle schools there that I had led programs at for nearly 20 years. And they wanted to show me the garden. And they took me in this little back room on the first floor, and there was the garden. How could it have been that I found the garden there, Alex?
Well, you found a garden there because we found a great partner in California, and that's Bay Area Community Resources. And through our partnership with them, we've been able to work with a lot of schools in San Francisco, in obviously a very dense urban environment. And was it a middle school that you saw it at, Michael, or what school was it?
AP, G, and N.
APG. Yep,
Middle
that's
school,
right.
yep.
That's right. They're doing great things with the program in San Francisco and teaching kids in the city how to do indoor gardening and how to grow fresh food right in their school.
So what's the technical term for the indoor garden contraption that I saw?
Hydroponics.
Hydroponics. Nicole, is that part of your science, like helping kids understand?
It
how to-
absolutely is. And you know what's amazing about being able to put this into our sites is we have one school site that has an amazing outside garden, but there's just not space at every single location for something like that. So Fork Farms has allowed us to put a hydroponics unit actually in the classroom so the kids can have hands-on. Not only do they get to build it themselves, we actually have sixth graders that build the units. But they also get to be excited about watching everything grow. They get to see every part of it. And it is an amazing feeling for the kids when they get to take home their own produce that they've raised, they grew.
So a little bit of engineering, a little bit of earth science, a little bit of biology sprinkled in there. That's sounds like really good holistic, hands-on, active learning that's high quality. We'll come back to Bakersfield, but welcome Julian and Taisa from Twin Rivers Unified, right down the road from Sacramento. Why don't you jump in and tell us a little bit about your exciting expanded learning work?
Hi, so my name is Julian Balderas. I'm Program Development Specialist with Twin Rivers Unified School District with the before school programs, after school programs. So we have in our before school programs, we have over 900 students, and in our after school programs, we have about 3,600 students where we offer different tutoring, clubs, and intercession camps for all our TR students. We have, like we were mentioning, we offer one of those amazing programs, which is hydroponics, to where we incorporate those the growing inside and or, like they mentioned, outside. We're currently using the hydroponics to get the kids hands-on with gardening and so on as we develop our outdoor gardens, so that way they can have best of both worlds. But like they mentioned, every site has the ability to have an outdoor garden. So having that hydroponics garden really does get the students, gets their hands on planting some seeds, watching the seeds grow, and then eventually turning it into a produce. It turns into a produce that then our cooking clubs can take on and make some delicious salads or the spices to go with our cooking club, which also turns into a major culminating event, which is our annual Chop Challenge.
That's awesome. Taisa, what do you want to add?
So my name is Taisa Petrova. I'm the Program Developer Specialist with the Twin Rivers Athletics Department. We serve TK through 8. We provide 7 different sports from basketball, soccer, flag football, cheer, golf, tennis, and track. And just like Julian, I was one of the coordinators that got one of those Fork Farms in my site when I was a coordinator. And it was just amazing to see how the kids went from like checking it every day to seeing how it grew. And then we even as a whole after school program, we did a Caesar salad, and then the kids chopped it up. They washed all of it and they put all the seasoning on it, and then they delivered it to the kids in the after school program. So to be able to see how the progress went from point A to point Z, like it was amazing to see their smiles. And they're like, "Mom, Dad, come here, check it out. Look what I grew." And so they would grab their parents and show them in our room of like the system. And then I know I did it twice, and so we try to incorporate that into the outdoor garden where we planted certain seeds in there, and then we took them outdoors and grew like I think we started cucumbers and tomatoes in that little one, and some strawberries, and then we just incorporated outside, and then we grew another garden outside. So it's a beautiful thing to see kids see the levels, and then they work on their journaling as well. As like, okay, day 1, what do we do? Check the pH levels, check all of the nutritions, what do we need? And so it's like a team effort. And just like Julian said, it helps us with like our major event, which is Chop Challenge at the end of the time where the kids actually were like, oh yeah, I've done cooking in after school programs. So
And it also ties in with our safe, healthy, supportive environments with our expanded learning. So it's a huge one for us.
Yes, thank you. That's great. I love anytime somebody ties back this work to one of our quality standards. And yeah, our programs are focused on, how do we, this is a combination of STEAM activities and embedding like expanding learning opportunities. They might not necessarily get a chance to dig into, this might not be what they're doing in science class during the day, but they get to be really hands-on with their learning. And then the also learning about eating healthy, right? And all of those things. So great to hear you all talking about this. And one of the things I think you kind of all touched on, but would love to hear a little bit more about, this is a really good partnership between the school district, between Fork Farms, and then also, as was mentioned, right, in the Bay Area with BACR, a large community-based organization. And so I think for us, and Michael talked about this a little bit earlier, is in expanded learning, it's really crucial to have these partnerships, right? It's not just a few folks who are running this entire program, but this really is partnerships with the community-based organizations, other partners that can bring in more of these like specific specialty programs. And so I don't know if any of our district folks want to talk a little bit more about the importance of partnerships and how you partner with these different community organizations to support your students and programs.
I can talk about that. We partner with lots of organizations that go into our school sites, teach them chess, do some science experiments with them and other things. Fork Farms is just one of the many that go into our school sites. And I know that Fork Farms in particular is one that we started last year with 4 school sites, kind of, okay, we'll see how it goes, see if we can get the interest, and it's just gone mad. I think we added 6 more sites this year to Fork Farms because they saw what the kids were learning. They saw how valuable it was to have those partnerships and be able to get things into our school sites that, again, a lot of things that we do in after school are things that the regular day teachers just do not have time for. But we do, and we can provide that for them. And it's just an experience that I think is so valuable for every single student to get, especially those ones that want that safe environment to be able to have that fun in. And I think this is just one opportunity of being able to provide that for them.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we partner with various agencies to run our after-school before and after-school programs. We use them mainly just like Nicole was mentioning, how not always are they able to get to specific things during the day. And during the after-school program, we're able to provide them those extra hours of whatever it is that they're working on or can gain more knowledge on. For example, we currently have a partnership with many other areas such as our Z-tags, our hydroponics and Lego, including our paper tutoring app. Taisa, is there anything that I'm missing? I know there's a bunch.
Yeah, we also partner with a lot of local groups that run like cooking club, engineering club, chess clubs, video game designing, music production, hip hop classes, dance classes. Ballet dances, boxing, taekwondo. So all of that. And then also with the athletics, we partner with Sacramento Kings giving and the soccer, what do they call it? Sacramento Republic soccer team. So that way it gives the kids who participated in our championships and won the game, they get the experience on like how it's like to go to the games, like see it, and how it's like to be an athlete. So they don't usually get that experience to go to Kings game. Like we our school systems are in a low economic group, so the kids never could potentially be able to go to a basketball game or a soccer game. So we provide a lot of those experiences to our kids and a lot of mentorship. I think that's the biggest thing is providing mentorships when it comes to like professional players that come out and like support and see. I mean, the other day at one of our sites, we had Washington Wizards 3 players come out. So that was a good experience for them to see.
Michael, you're very enthusiastically talking on me.
You mentioned sports, Taisa, and our guest, which I'm going to pivot to next, Alex and Abby, are from Wisconsin. So I'm sorry about the game Sunday. Anyway, enough said about that. What do you want us to know about Fork Farms?
Well, yeah, that was a rough one for Packer Nation up here. The 49ers seem to have our number in the playoffs, that's for sure. But I'm excited about the Kings, Michael. I saw your water jug there with the Kings sticker on it. That's a fun
product placement.
Exactly. That's a fun young team. I'm glad you're repping them. So what I want everyone to know about Fork Farms is, and I think it's really a good encapsulation of what the CDE provides and what expanded learning is all about. And what I mean by that is, you know, when I reach out to these directors of expanded learning in California, their appetite for innovation is huge. And so many pieces have to come together for this all to work, right? They have to have the guidelines, they have to have the funding from the CDE and from the governor's office. They have to have that appetite for innovation. They have to have really good, solid site coordinators and people actually on the ground making things work. And when all of that comes together around a program that kids are smiling while they're doing and they're learning play and they're eating healthy food, it really is a special thing to see. And I've seen it time and time again. And it's only made possible with people like Nicole, people like Taisa, people like Julian, people like you and Heather. And it's been cool to see from a distance here in Wisconsin. And, you know, the program is all about creating core memories and connection points for students to nutrition. We see some immediate benefits in terms of them wanting to eat healthier food, getting more connected with their peers around a shared experience and something they can get their hands on. Long-term benefits of a desire for fresh food options at school, an appreciation for fresh food, all of those things. I had someone down in Desert Sands email me last week and say that pizza was the side dish for a salad party that they had. And to hear that is pretty stunning. So it's been very rewarding.
It's great.
I would love for people to know about Fork Farms, that agriculture is cool. Hopefully kids take that away, and hopefully teachers and staff. Like, you don't need to have a green thumb to be able to grow food consistently and well. Like, you can come in knowing absolutely nothing, and we'll help you every step of the way, because we think that growing stuff that you can eat is cool, and we want other people to think that too. I think that careers in agriculture in California may have a certain image, and positive or negative. And I think that this is a way to get the next generation. What are we in Gen Alpha now? Our students that we're working with are so removed in urban spaces, especially, but even in suburban or rural areas where they aren't working with the produce as much, especially in elementary. So this is just a way to make it really cool. Because it's a little more high tech, and it's also more accessible for the staff who are running it, that they don't need to have an agriculture degree or horticulture degree to be able to run this. So as Nicole said, they're having 6th graders put it together. So yeah, if a 12-year-old can do it, I believe that anyone can. So definitely that's what I want people to know. And it'll be cool. We'll grow some really good stuff.
Sorry, it also helps that they have a website. So in case that you need a lesson plan or anything on how to step by step, like it's right there. So like that website helped me a lot when I set everything up. And it's like, oh, I want to do this. Okay, here's like breakdown on what to talk to kids about, how to do it. And if you have any questions, You just send it in and then Alex or someone will respond to it.
Yeah, like, oh, if you want to grow like sugar snap peas, we got you. Like, you guys said you were growing strawberries that you put in your outdoor garden, like we'll help you get there. Yeah.
I love that. Julian, you want to add I'll give you the last comment there.
Yeah, I kind of drew a blank there near at the end. Sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah, and I appreciate you mentioning that, because I think one of the things for anything STEAM related is sometimes we notice like staff feel hesitancy, right? I don't know this. How can I teach this to kids? How can I facilitate this? And so having access to resources, I wish every school district could have a Nicole, and maybe someday we'll get there, but in the meantime, for our staff to feel confident to be able to facilitate these activities with their students is really huge. And so having those resources is just really wonderful. But I definitely want to thank you all for coming on today and really demonstrating like what are some of the unique opportunities we have in these programs? How do we expand on, kids learn cool stuff during the school day, but how can we continue to expand on that and provide new and different opportunities in these out of school time spaces? And how do we all partner together to do that? Right. Most of us can't do that alone. And so bringing in different partners to really bring in these unique experiences is just such a great opportunity. So big thank you from me to all of you for the work you are doing in our communities. And Michael, turn it over to you for last comments.
Yeah, I'll, as a former proud member of the Future Farmers of America, I've really enjoyed this conversation. Grew up on a potato farm in Southeast Idaho. And, when I started to interact with, I played basketball in college. When I started to interact with players who'd come from the city and hadn't been around dirt, it's like didn't have any idea where food came from, really, and at least not a great idea. And so it's so inspiring to hear. Just imagining as you're talking about these kids working together and kids experiencing this. And I think, Alex, you used the phrase this, like building memories of what it and habits of what it means to eat healthy and be healthy, and just really exciting stuff. So thank you for Bakersfield, Twin Rivers, for just modeling what's possible with being creative and having the resources. Doing what our kids deserve, our communities deserve. They deserve our best, and I feel like that's what they're getting at your sites with your programs. And I feel a lot of heart with the work, feel a lot of love with the work. And so I'll close with how I close. Let's lead with love and do that with action to provide more opportunities for kids. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.